Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was actually surprised by a lot of the conversations we had. I I thought that more people, I don't know if it's wouldn't really care about methodology or just weren't aware that that was, even a question we should be asking. But
Like on the client side you're talking about?
from talking about like talking with shelters and folks kind
Okay.
of
Mhm.
involved in animal welfare, the overwhelming majority of conversations we had, people were like, yeah, we don't want to be involved in this if it's
Yeah.
not reward based, if it's not kind of rooted in positive reinforcement methodology and
Wow, that's
certified
amazing.
trainers. And
Mhm.
it just kind of like, it was like, oh, this like little glimmer of like, okay,
That's huge. That's
yeah,
huge for
yeah,
the
it was
shelter
really,
community. I'm happy to hear that.
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of skepticism too, because, I mean, Rover's a
Yeah.
good company and people were like,
Mhm.
okay. Um,
Right.
but I think the more conversations, and certainly now having conversations with trainers, they're like, it's really nice to be able to say, like, we are asking questions, we are listening to feedback, we are
Yeah.
taking what you say, and you can see kind of changes and growth reflected in the platform. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
what a wild industry to step into.
Totally. Totally. On all ends.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I just I was skeptical too. Again, like I said, when I was first approached. But it's really refreshing to hear that some of these shelters are like, okay, yeah, we want to do positive methods and that type of thing. Because back when I was working in shelters, it was not like that at all. At all. It was like this little there'd be a crew of us who would do, the positive reinforcement and the behavior screenings and talking to owners and all that kind of stuff, because of all the resistance. So,
Yeah.
um, it's good to see that openness at least, and I think there's skepticism because people as a whole just we don't like change at all. So you have that resistance for straight up, but it's refreshing to hear that. So now that's the good pup side, right? Is that where you're that
That's
from
a
when you
yeah.
first started and into good pup and
Yeah, because at that point, um, at least for me, so I was still working in Jenny too. Like we were working under Good Pup virtual training.
mhm, right.
So we were coming in really as consults more than
Uh-huh.
anything else on these calls, just to kind of add our 2 cents, maybe help guide the conversation, and
Mhm.
really kind of hopefully open doors
Sure.
to them. And so it wasn't really until the last year and a half where I stepped more away from the Good Pup virtual, and
Mhm.
we had put together at that point the Good Pup certification program
Right.
and began working with that within Rover.
Yeah. I like the certification program. I like the way it's broken down into the segments, with learning theory and then the cues. And then I wasn't crazy about having to do the videos for you guys, but I did, whatever I did, but it's really important. And like my business is virtual. So it's very important to be able to demonstrate that. So I do like the expectations that you've set for people like me, to get certified and that type of thing. Are you just finding like people are like, yeah, let's get certified? Like, what are you finding as far as has there been resistance or people get into it and they're like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this. This is like, I just want to train dogs. I had a dog when I was 5, that my mom took care of, but, so what has that experience been like for you guys?
There's a little bit of all of it there.
Okay.
Is one thing I would say.
Yeah.
The program, and you could attest to this since how you're going through it. It's a basic program.
Mhm.
It's a basic foundations course.
Right.
It's not designed to have someone exit the course and know how to walk into a home with a dog that's displaying aggressive behaviors necessarily and
Exactly.
be able to address it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the idea behind it was that it provided the foundation that every trainer needs as far as understanding learning theory, body language, moving forward with training, right? And we
Right.
hoped it would be a way to allow people to get into the industry easier, which it
Mm-hmm.
can be quite hard. It's expensive, it's time consuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also really encourage them to go further, right? Like this is just the beginning. You can do even more with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of I would say most of ours are young adults who
Mm-hmm.
didn't have an opportunity or a means to have a credential within the dog training community, right? So
Right.
this has worked very well for them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it's, people who have been training for a while and still didn't have that option.
Right.
We definitely get those people that maybe think it's not exactly what it is and it's going to be kind of a fly through and they're
Yeah.
done. They realize it's a little bit more than that and
Yeah.
go off. And then there's certainly people who don't think it is more advanced trainers, right? Who the course is not something that they need or require and they have other credentials.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even for that, I think it's good that it's just another option. And like you said, it's actually perfect for somebody like me, who's, rebooting the business and all that kind of stuff. And I really, yeah, it is just your foundation. Are you thinking about at some point maybe doing another level of, credentialing or training, or is this where you're at, and that type of thing? You're both smiling. You're like, yes, we've been thinking about it.
Well, I know
Of
Jenny
course,
works,
we've been thinking about it, Maria. Don't be stupid.
Jenny works directly with the trainers more, so she may have some more insight as far as the trainers coming into the program and thoughts.
Mhm.
But as someone who's behind the creation of the program, absolutely, I would love to
Yeah.
encourage people to go further. We already kind of have a segment for the most part put together that would build
Nice.
on the foundation skills.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of where we're at in the development of the program as to how it
Sure.
relates to the development of the platform itself, when that may or may not happen.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to the original thing of like it's kind of all over the place, right? I get all the reactions, and I have a lot of the feelings, right? Like Kate said,
Mhm.
this is a foundational course, right? I'm
Right.
not a trainer because I went to a week-long workshop
Right.
with Pat Miller. Like that didn't make
Right.
me a trainer, right? I
Mhm.
think it's like it is challenging because there are so many avenues to become a trainer. This is a wildly unregulated industry. There are these options, I mean, and
Mhm.
literally anyone can call themselves a trainer. So
Yeah.
we hear a lot of the like, is that a real certification? Is this da 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 da? And it's
Mhm.
the thing that I just always go back to is, like Kate said, this is a foundation course.
Mhm.
And for me, one of the most like the key factor is it provides opportunity. Like it provides opportunity for folks that don't have thousands of dollars to drop on a program,
Right.
that don't know if this is an avenue they are going to want to like, go down the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Like it is a really kind of low barrier way to access
Mhm.
really good information, right?
Yes. Very
And
much so.
I think like, yeah, the going forward part, like I would love to see this like build up this kind of side of the Rover platform
Mhm.
in order to not only provide foundation, this foundational course, but like also help with what's next, right?
Yeah.
Like I know for me, one of the really challenging things, especially being someone that worked primarily in shelters, was I just didn't know how to walk into someone's house and train their dog. Like okay, cool. I have all this information. I studied my butt off. Like in theory, I know how to do this, but then you're presented with the dog in front of you. And I think it's hard, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
it's a little overwhelming. It can be kind of daunting. So I think for me, it's like, I would love to see, we've talked about like mentor programs and all these things.
Mhm.
Like, I think there is a lot of opportunity for growth. It's just like
Sure.
Kate said, like making sure it's kind of aligned with where the platform's going and
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
supports like what we're doing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know it's like anybody can say they're a dog trainer, and it doesn't matter, and you can open up XYZ and do whatever you want. And this has been something I've been beating the drum of, like, okay, what's going on here? How many more dogs have to die? And we're just hearing about the dogs. We're not hearing about the cats and that and the other animals that
The
are in
people
training.
affected.
Right. Exactly. And the owners or the pet parents are like, they don't really know what else is out there. They think too, like we did at some point, like this is the way you do it.
Yeah.
And but so I feel like it's up to us as trainers and that we get this information out to the general public, and that we do demand better of our industry for the dogs, for the other animals, for the pet parents. And I feel like this is one step, because Rover is a huge platform. And it's very visible, and it's very visible in the pet sitting world. And I hope they start doing credentialing on that side as well, because again, it's really important. And why not give the people what they need for their pets, so that they can stay out of the shelters, because sheltering was a big thing in our careers, and rescues and all the things. It starts with education, and it starts with holding ourselves to a higher standard, quite frankly. And I think it's well past time that we start doing this, even legislatively, on each state. I don't know, and it's been forever, if they were able to, up in Jersey, get anything passed as far as training. I think it got poo-pooed down. But it's a
Like always higher
start.
priorities for people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, really? No, there's not. No. Well, these are high priorities too, because these also affect the people.
Yeah.
Because of all that goes into the relationship with their pets and stuff. So are you finding, just, I don't know why this question came up in my head, but like, are you finding demographically it's mostly women who are coming, or females that are coming to the platform? Are you finding a mix? Because I find that sometimes um, our field seems to be, at least on the client side, a little bit more um, female dominated, as far as I'm talking about, like sales or demographic kind of stuff.
I mean, I think that's a good question. I think it's I think one
Not
of the
that it
things
matters.
I was really that's just fascinating to me is like, so I get to talk to trainers all day, every day at this point, and
Yeah.
all over the country. And
Mhm.
it's so interesting to me, just depending on where you live, depending on the market. Like, there's such a wide variety, and there's these little
Mhm.
pockets where it's almost like unheard of, right? You can just like throw a rock and hit a positive reinforcement trainer.
Yeah.
And then there are others where it's very difficult to connect with a
Mhm.
credentialed reward-based trainer. I don't know. I truly just don't think we have like the numbers on that.
Mhm.
But just like anecdotally, I mean, I think it does lean heavily towards like female providers.
Mhm.
But certainly I
Yeah.
think there is a mix in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah.
And Jenny's seeing, the trainers that are signing up, or she's talking to on the platform. And then
Yeah.
I'm, of course, seeing people who might want to be on the platform, who are
Mhm.
searching for a credential, most of them. Um, And it's been very interesting. We really, as the GoodPup certification has grown, the students entering are from all walks of life.
Yeah.
It's
That's
All
awesome.
walks of
awesome.
life, different ages, different backgrounds.
I love it.
It's really been great to see
Yeah.
that maybe again, like we've created an opportunity for
Mhm.
a variety of students to enjoy
Yeah.
this. And I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed watching that.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And I think it's important for for people who just in all other circumstances
Mhm.
maybe wouldn't be recognized or able to for whatever reason, whether it's access or demographic of whatever, in their lives. I think it's really cool. So it's really exciting.